255.255.255.0. No shutdown. Interface serial 11. IP address is 10.344.255.255.255.0. No shutdown. About the interface ETH00, we don't have interface ETH00. Let me to configure interface loopback 0. IP address of the loopback 0 is quad 1 quad 255. Okay, and then let me to remove this duplex command. We don't have EIGRP configuration. Let me to configure default routes in the router 1. In router 1 we can configure IP route quad 0. Then next up is 10.1.2.2 router 2. After that the next default route IP route quad 0, again quad 0. Next up is 10.1.3.3. this is the first two command. Then also let me to configure in the ISP's static default route. In the router 2 we can configure these two command. IP route 10.1.0.0.255.255.255.0. next up is 10.1.2.1, and also IP route a quad 1 a quad 255. Okay, next hop is the router 3 or router 4 10.2.4.4. okay, in the router 1. In the router 2, then in the router 3, let me to configure IP route again 10.1.0.0.255.255.255.0. Next up is 10.1.3.1. After that IP route a quad 1 quad 255. Okay, next up is 10 for example a 3.4.4. that's it, 10.3.4.4, the router 4. Also in the router 4 we can configure two static route IP route for the 10.1.0.0.255.255.255.0. next up is the 10.2.3.2, and also IP route for the 10.1.0.0.255.255.255.0 is 10.3.4.3. that's it. This is our configuration. Let me to copy these commands into the CLI of the routers, starting from the router 1. This is the R1 configuration. Let me to copy these commands into the R1 CLI. Okay, after that we can configure the policies. This is R1 configuration without error. Then R2, this is the R2's configuration. R2 means ISP1 router. This is the ISP1 router or R2. Then the router 3, this is the router 3's configuration. Copy, and then we can paste it here. And finally the router 4 configuration. This is the router 4 configuration. Copy and paste it here. Also we have one VPC. Here we have one mistake. IP address of loopback 0 should be configured with quad 255. It's okay now. Let me to copy it again. We don't have any problem. In the VPC 1 IP is 10.1.0 for example 10. Okay, 10.1.0.10, mask is 24, and the gateway is 10.1.0.1. that's it. Okay, this is our scenario. First, let me to verify the connectivity between the VPC 1 and also the internet quad 1. For example, ping quad 1. What is happening now? We should wait some second. After some second, we can check. Look at here. In the VPC 1, now we don't have pass to the quad 1. We should find the reason first. Let me to check the connectivity between the VPC 1 and router 1. Here, look at here. This is ETH01. We should correct it. In the R1, we have configured ETH00, but this is ETH01. Interface ETH01. Okay. In the router 1, interface ETH00. Okay, interface ETH00, no IP address. Then shutdown, interface ETH01. IP address is the 10.1.0.1.255.255.255.0 and no shutdown. That's it. Okay. Now let me to check the connectivity from the, for example, VPC 1. Again, ping quad 1. Now we have connectivity without any problem. After that, let me to find from which path we are sending traffic, trace route or trace quad 1. Look at here, traffic is going to the router 1, to the router 3, and to the router 4. The reason is that we are load balancing traffic. For some other traffic, maybe we send traffic from the ISP1. Okay, let me to configure other loopback here. Here we have now one loopback. We can configure 1.1.1.2/32, the next loopback. And in the router in ISP3, let me to configure it. Interface loopback 1 IP address is 1.1.1.2.255.255.255.255. Then from the VPC 1, let me trace to the 1.1.1.2 As you can see, traffic is going to the router 2. Actually, here now we are experiencing the load balancing, and it is obvious. Now let me to show you the default policy. Here in the router 1, we can configure one ACL IP access list extended telnet SSH. This is the name of the ACL. Permit TCP and from the 10.1.0.0.0.0, okay, 255 to the any, and then EQ 23 and also EQ 22. Then route map, this is our route map my policy permit 10 match IP address. The name of ACL is telnet, okay, telnet SSH. Then set IP default next hop 10.133. Set IP default next hop 10.133, or you can use set default interface, okay? And after that, we should apply it to the interface ETH01 IP policy. The policy is route map. Then the name of route map is my policy. So easy, okay? And after that, let me to show you the show IP policy. Here in the show IP policy, we have over the ETH01 the policy of my policy. It is obvious. This is the show route map. In the show route map, we don't have any match now. Now let me to generate some telnet or SSH traffic. If you want, you can use debug IP policy. Here, debug IP policy. You know that we are sending traffic to the outside of this network. Because of that, actually the routing table, we don't have any specific match for the traffic. We are using the default route in the routing table of router 1. Look at here, this is the routing table of router 1. Here we don't have any specific match, for example, for quad 1. Because of that, in the router 1, we can configure, in the VPC 1, we can send traffic ping to the quad 1. Here, we have some options. They are useful. Look at here. You can use ping quad 1 -3. -3 means TCP traffic. And then -p, okay, -p or -p means that we want to send traffic to a specific destination port. For example, I want to send traffic to the port 23. Okay, why? Because I want to show you the traffic of 23 means telnet is going to the router 3. This is our traffic. The traffic itself is not important. Here in the router 1, we can see that the FIP policy match PBR content. Actually here, now the default policy is working. We are sending traffic to the router 3, okay? It is obvious. And also in the VPC 1, let me to send the traffic to the 22 means SSH. Again, here in the router 1, you can see FIP policy match. It is working. But if you, and also in the router 1, show route map can show us that now we have 10 packet match. And now I'm going to send HTTP traffic. Look at here. In the VPC 1, I am going to send the traffic to the port 80, the HTTP traffic. In the R1, as you can see, FIP policy rejected here, and we are using normal forwarding, and show route map can show us that we don't have any increase in the, for example, policy routing match. And actually, here it is obvious that the policy is working. Also, don't forget, only policy is working when we are sending traffic to the, for example, to a network that traffic is matching with only the default route. If you send traffic to other networks, okay, the default policy that we have explicit pass in the routing table of R1 for them, the default policy doesn't work. For example, in the VPC 1, okay, I want to send the telnet traffic to the router 1 itself, to the router 1, for example, ping. Here we can use a 10.1, okay, 10.1.0.1. This is the IP address of the router 1. When we are sending this traffic in the R1, as you can see, we don't have any match. Let me to show you. And also, if you want, you can try to send traffic to the one IP address connected to the R1, for example, 10.1.2.2. Look at here in the VPC 1, send telnet traffic to the 10, okay, 1.2.2. Again, this traffic in the R1, as you can see, doesn't match. Why? Because you know that we are using default policy. Because in the routing table of R1, we have a specific path for 10.122. This is a connected network. The policy doesn't work. First, the normal forwarding or the, for example, routing table is working. Look at here, policy rejected. Why?